Today, former Criterion developers might be resurrecting Burnout. Time to win races by crashing cars? This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint, where I'm still recovering from the Tokyo Game Show.
You didn't go to TGS.
Yeah, but all the other video game news sites did, and I'm experiencing severe sympathy fatigue.
That isn't a thing. I think you might just be lazy.
Yeah. Fans of the Burnout series of race-crashing games, prepare your interest for imminent peaking. Three Fields Entertainment, founded by Criterion Games' Alex Ward and Fiona Sperry, and staffed largely by former Criterion staff, cryptically tweeted last week that they would begin working on a spiritual successor to the Burnout franchise. Well, they actually tweeted they would be making a, quote, fast driving game that would be, quote, a spiritual successor. And since Criterion also worked on the Need for Speed series, a little more clarification would come in a follow-up tweet mentioning, quote, speed, traffic, and crashing, lots and lots of crashing. So without saying Burnout, they've got fans excited for a legally not Burnout, but basically Burnout game that they'll start working on once they release a different game coming this spring. So basically sit tight. You're not careening a supercar into a crowded intersection of industrial vehicles anytime soon.
You know how Steam's terms of service require you to tell people if your reviews and curated lists are paid endorsements? No? Well, if I was you, I would read up on the FTC's disclosure guidelines because Steam is now enforcing that. Last week, Valve deleted all the Steam reviews for a game called Epic Quest of the Four Crystals after the developers ran a promotion where you could get a copy of the game for free if you promised to review it. So why is this relevant to you? Because the internet can give anyone, even us, enormous influence and power. And now the authorities are stepping in like a government-funded Uncle Ben to remind us that with great responsibilities comes some power. So when should you, the average gamer/streamer/YouTuber, think about disclosure? Just remember CheckPoint's handy mnemonic. Famous. F stands for free. Did you get something for free? A stands for anonymous. Are the people asking you to do something trying to hide their involvement? M stands for money, as in, are you literally getting money to do something? O stands for off limits. Are there things you're not allowed to say because they might make a game look bad? U stands for you, as in you. There are a lot of letters in this word, so shut up. And S stands for scumbag, which is what you are if you get to the end of this list and say, who cares?
Destiny may have inadvertently been messing with its high-level players for a week now. In the King's Fall, the latest raid recently added to the game, there's a secret room a fire team can get access to that has these relics that act as keys, a statue to put the keys in, and no further obvious solution. We know that if you put the relics into the statue, then the whole fire team gets a buff called Overcharged, and that's it. Nobody knows what that means, why it happens, how to use it, or what to do next. On the weekend, over 5,000 people were watching a live stream of popular Destiny content creator Slayer Rage literally just troubleshooting. The thing is, even getting into the room where all this happens isn't exactly consistent or easy, and it's entirely possible we're not supposed to be in there yet. Maybe this is something for hard mode. Maybe it just hasn't been officially rolled out yet. It would not surprise me if Bungie didn't expect players to get there and left the room open by accident because they figured we wouldn't be able to. Or alternately, they're intentionally messing with us because that's also very Bungie, so who knows?
In a rare sign of self-awareness from a major video game publisher, Square Enix and Eidos have canceled the confusing, exploitative, and literal garbage system they cooked up to force as many people as possible to pre-order Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. In case you missed it, here's the TLDR. The more people that pre-ordered the game, the better the pre-order rewards Square would deign to give to the peasants. There were 5 tiers featuring things like an extra mission, a soundtrack, and other goodies, and the exalted 5th tier was getting the game 4 days early. Except that even if you forced all your friends to pre-order the game, you couldn't get all the pre-order bonuses. You could only choose up to 4 of a possible 5 that could be unlocked. Oh wait! If you really wanted to make sure you got everything, you could just pay $140 for the collector's edition, which would of course come with all the digital bonuses, even if the collected fangasm of the ordinary poors didn't produce enough money for Square's satisfaction. Turns out people hardcore enough to pre-order a game don't like being told that they might be able to get some really cool stuff that just happens to be lying around, but only if you grovel first. However, this campaign did unite the fans and make them work together, so mission accomplished, I guess.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 looks like garbage toilets and is also pretty broken. Many videos have been making the rounds, from Polygon to Jim Sterling, showcasing the hilariously poor collision detection, often ending up with poor Mr. Hawk's body intersecting with the same physical space as a half-pipe, all of it pointing to a game that was hastily assembled with a complete lack of care. And nothing says lack of care to me more than this unaltered screenshot. Look at this HUD. This looks like placeholder art. There is no graphical consistency. There are 4 fonts on screen at once. And there could be others. Look at this other screenshot. It is an utter interface disaster. I am astonished that Activision released a game that looks this amateur. This is what happens when you take the studio that made the 2 worst reviewed Tony Hawk games and trust them with a marquee franchise title. Or trust might be the wrong word, because there's a lot of suspicion that Activision rushed out this title to allegedly hang on to the Tony Hawk franchise license and sneak the release into the last day of the fiscal quarter, which would be great.
So the biggest problem you have with this skateboarding game is the font choice?
Look, fonts are important. I don't want to be trying to pull off a 720 boneless transitioning into a manual and get distracted by kerning.
You are literally the only person in the world with that problem. Coming up, after a player complained about how unrealistically the electrical infrastructure is depicted in the zombie game Dying Light, developer Techland revealed a massive secret about the game. In Dying Light, all electricity is generated by zombies on hamster wheels, which was totally the plan the whole time.
I realized I probably should have... I almost ad-libbed into the story. Somebody was asking, what are the 2 worst reviewed Tony Hawk games? They are the 2 made by...
The people who made this one.
Yeah, the ride ones.
By Robomoto. I believe it is Ride and Shred. Hello, CheckPoint fans! A reminder that CheckPoint, much like everything we do, is now supported by you directly through Patreon. Please check it out. We would really appreciate it.